Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hi, this is Ken O from Canton Chambers Lawyers. This is for today is for 13th of November, and we are doing for Facebook Live. We are starting a little late, and then this is 5:16 in New Zealand time. I'm sorry then because we are something doing internally, so we are a little late. Okay. In anyway, today's topic. Okay, hello, hi Tina in Philippines. Hi, how are you? It's very nice to see you, and then thank you for attending our Facebook Live. So today's topic is for immigration announce of new a policy which was for non-skilled before. Then they can be like some like a skilled now. For example, I told you in our last Facebook Live, which can be like a non-skilled, can be like a skilled. So that for exception as a skilled, even though this is actually for non-skilled in NSCO, then this order list will be in the immigration manual, like appendix 7, right? So if you are not sure, then you can go to for immigration website, the www.immigration.govt.nz. Then if you go to New Zealand immigration website, then you go for find any immigration manual in a glossary for appendix 7. You can find some list of the exception list. That means the occupations treated as an exception. That means if you go for find this job in NSCO, that means Australia, New Zealand for government make for all the job list, whether skill level there. Technically in NSCO, this is for non-skilled. However, immigration department, they make for exception, even though this is a non-skilled in NSCO, but they do recognize in immigration policy as a skilled. So this is for appendix 7, occupations treated as an exception, right? So I can briefly explanation for this one. For many of the technically this is like a non-skilled. So when you apply for visa here, means for when you apply for temporary visa, means for essential work visa, or when you apply for the residence visa, you have to get some skilled job. And then when you, especially for when you apply for the residence visa, then your job title shall be skilled job. Otherwise, your job offer cannot get any the point. So that means for this is a requirement. But if you for the job list in the appendix 6, that jobs before, if you got this job and then you cannot apply for the residence visa. However, from now on, even though job in the exception list in for appendix 6, then so you can still apply for the residence visa. You have to meet the requirement, condition. That means in the job list, and your payment shall be over $25 per hour. Then can be recognized as a skilled job, right? And then when you apply for essential work visa, that means I told you so many times, we got some temporary visa scheme. For under the temporary visa scheme, you got a work visa, and then student visa, and then visitor visa. In a residence visa category for skilled migrant category, and then business category and family category. So temporary visa means for when your visa the term finished, then you have to go back to your country. But the residence visa category, if you got some the residence visa, then you can live here in New Zealand for permanently. means for until you die, and then so you will be buried in New Zealand, right? So this is different. But when you apply for a essential work visa, if your job is for skilled job, then if you meet a certain for salary requirement, then your visa will be granted for 3 years or 5 years. But however, if your job is for non-skilled, then your job will be your visa will be granted for 1 year, right? Even though some exception, if your payment salary is very high, can be for some visa 3 years or 5 years. But generally, if your job is for non-skilled, then your visa will be granted for 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 3 times for 3 years visa. Then you have to go back to your own country, then stay there minimum 1 year, then come back again. So this is a difference between for skilled job and non-skilled job. So the reason why the occupation as an exception in Appendix 6 means that in New Zealand, for an industry, they got a negotiation with immigration department. Okay, this area, we need more people, but we are short of these people in our industry. So please do take this job as an exception, right? Then immigration may be accepted. Or also you can see in the future, I told you so many times, for immigration department, they are going to change the whole structure, right? Whole structure, work visa structure, then 6 category, will make 1 category. Then they are going to, for immigration New Zealand, and then for industry, make a will special agreement. We call this as a sector agreement. Then this is for before the sector agreement made, and then this is for a a traditional the process, right? So in any way, today we are going to more understanding of maybe 3 categories here, right? We are thinking to child care worker, family daycare worker. This is one area, right? And this is usually for some early childhood center, relevant the area. The other one is for a teacher aide, right? In a teaching site in an area. And then third thing is for this is educational worker means. And then third thing is a personal care assistant, right? This is a healthcare industry. I'm going to mention more in details in these 3 industry jobs as an exception, right? So I can mention for a child care worker, right? And then this one is for actually, when you go to for NSCO, this is a unit group for 4211, like a child cares. This is actually for skill level 4, right? That means I told you for NSCO, there is a skill level, skill level 1, skill level 2, skill level 3, skill level 4, skill level 5. Every job, most of job, they classify a skill level 1 to 5. So from here, level 4, level 5, level 4, we call this non-skilled. Level 3, level 2, level 1, we call this as a skilled. That means that technically, NSCO, if the job belongs for 3 to 1, then you can apply for the residence visa. And then when you apply for the essential work visa, and then this one, you may get for 3 years visa or 5 years visa. And also level 5, level 4 in NSCO skill level, you cannot apply for the residence visa, right? In a permanent residence visa skill. Then in an essential work visa skill, number 5 and number 4, then you can get only for 1 year visa, right? However, even though the job belongs for level 4 or level 5, in those jobs, if those certain job belongs for Appendix 6 as exception, then this job recognized as a skilled, right? Skilled, right? So that means for then your job will be like can be recognized as skilled. That means you can apply for the permanent. I mean, how can I say, skilled migrant category. And then in the future, when you apply for work visa, your visa may get for a 3 years visa if you meet the income threshold. So technically, if your payment is like over $25 per hour, and then for exception list, then this is for recognized as skilled. So don't confuse for like a child care, this is a skill level 4, like in an NSCO skill level 4. But if your payment is still under $25, then still belongs for skill level 4. Cannot be exception, right? Then for child care, if you got a child care worker, right? And then even though skill level 4, when your payment is made over $25, then can be recognized as skilled, right? It's like some recognized as for level 3, right? So that means for like this is the requirement, okay? So this is like a very unclear at the moment for if level 4 requirement, the pre-requirements for you need a minimum high school graduate or a minimum 1 year experience required, right? So if you like consider as a level skill, level 3, then this is for minimum 3 years requirement, and then for level 4 tertiary, like a certificate requirement. At the moment, this is not very clear. However, I think that's for this job title, you need for minimum high school or like a 1 year experience can be qualified, right? Pre-requirements. So if your job, like if you work as like a child care now, and then if your payment is for $25 now, then you have a chance to apply for the residence visa in the future, like now. If you pass for English exam, and if you got 460 points, then you can apply for the residence visa. So any people like in New Zealand now, if you work in a childcare, like a childcare center as for a childcare worker, right? Then and if your payment is over $25 per hour, please do contact us. Then we can help you, right? So this is our main message to today. So if you work as like a childcare, like a daycare worker and then childcare worker, then if you are paid off like a $25 per hour, and then if you pass for English 6.5, then you are now qualified to apply for the residence visa. And if any person overseas, right? If you're not overseas, then if you pass for English exam as for 6.5, and then if you got a job here in New Zealand, then you can qualify for apply for residence visa. For overseas people like who has experience as a primary school teacher, and then or like a child care center, and then you got an experience, then for if you can get a job here in New Zealand, then you can come to New Zealand as a work visa. For if your payment is over $25, then you can get for 3 years visa. Then in the case, you can bring your husband or wife, and then your children can come together, because this is the over like a middle skill requirement. Then your whole family can come to New Zealand. Also, if you meet the requirement of the point requirements, like for example, 160 points, and then if you meet the English requirement 6.5, and then you can qualify for apply for residence visa here in New Zealand, right? So the reason today is for like a live is for any person now in New Zealand, any child care center, work as a child care worker or like some family daycare worker, they can chance to apply for residence visa. For example, any childcare worker, there's for NSCORE, the code is for 421111. And then the family daycare worker is 421112, like the parents. So any person then who belongs for this position or similar position, then come to us, we can help you for. Like a major childcare worker's job is for provide of care or supervision for children in programs or such as for long day care or occupational care or child care center, hospitals, for educational centers, for if any work as like a care and then supervision of the children, then you will be qualified. That means any people who work in an early childhood center and work as for supervision or look after for children, for example, like some like a registered, unregistered, it doesn't matter. And if you are paid for over $25, then you are qualified for the residence visa, right? Before, if you work in a child care center, only for registered for early childhood teacher can apply for the residence visa before. However, now from now on, any registered teacher or like any like a child care center look after for children, then you are still qualified as long as your payment is over $25 and also your English is for over 6.5, right? So is that you understand now, right? So, and also like in addition for this one, for not other today's topic, but like I can just comment for if any overseas for like a primary school teacher, right, who can pass for English exam for IELTS 7 academic, like each band, then we can help you to register as a teacher in New Zealand. Then you can find a job as for register like a teacher in early childhood teacher. Then you can apply for, you can work as a registered teacher in early childhood and apply for the residence visa. Then we are still helping you for this program. So if any overseas, primary school teacher who can pass for English exam for IELTS 7, then contact us. We can help you for teacher registration here in New Zealand. We can help you to find a job for you. Then we can introduce or match of the employer, and then we can help you. But don't like confuse. We are not recruiting agent. We are not job broker. We don't any job here for you, but we are lawyer for you. Then on behalf of you, we can contact for any child care center. We can present your CV or experience documentation. Okay, we can ask them whether you are like some good people to work for that child care center, right? If they are interested, we can arrange for like interview, and then you can negotiate for employment terms and conditions. Then once you got a job offer, then we can start off your like visa process, right? So any child care worker, and then this is one. Also, we are going to like talk about this one for like a teacher aid, right? This is a teacher aid one. So education aid for this one is for like if you see for NSCORE code, for this is a education aid for 4221, right? And then for this is a teacher aid, means for if you work in like a teacher's aid or preschool aid is still same. So that means for if you are like a child care worker similar, right? If you are work as a teacher aide or teacher assistant in a primary or secondary school or like a preschool, that means for child care center or kindergarten, any teacher aide for you can apply for the residence visa here in New Zealand. So that means any teacher for maybe primary school or like a child care, and then for secondary school teacher, if you can pass for English exam 6.5, and then we can help you. This is for like overseas, like a school teacher. So then there are so many jobs in like a child care as like a teacher aide, also like some like a registered teacher for that one. So for now, any like some teacher aide in New Zealand now, before teacher aide was skill level 4. So this job cannot be recognized as a skill job, so you cannot apply for the residence visa before. However, if you work as a teacher aide or preschool teacher aide, but your payment is over $25 now, then so you are now qualified for like apply as a skilled migrant category, right? So, but you meet the other requirement as well. Your point shall be 160 points, and then you meet the requirement of English requirement. If your payment is over $25, then you now qualified for apply for PR application here in New Zealand, right? So, any people working in New Zealand as a teacher aide, like a teacher assistant in a child care center or primary school or any secondary school as a teacher aide or teacher assistant, if your payment is over $25, if you are like English exam over 6.5, please contact us. We can help you to apply for your the residence visa here in New Zealand. So any overseas like a potential client who is like teachers, for example, for preschool or primary school or secondary school teacher, then if you can pass for English 6 points as a general overall, then contact us. Then we may try to find you a job as a teacher aide in New Zealand. Then so we can help you to like some job match and also your visa application here in New Zealand, right? And then, but we are not very sure as a teacher aide you can be paid $25 or not. But in any way, if your payment is over $21.25 now, then your job will be okay. No, so like your payment shall be over $25. Then you can get a work visa as a 3 years work visa, and then for later on you can apply for residence visa. However, if you got a job offer as a teacher aide, but if your payment is lower than $25, then you can come to New Zealand as a essential work visa, like a lower skill, like a non-skilled. Then your visa will be granted for only 1 year. But when your payment is increased for like to $25 over, then this you can reapply, and then you can get some 3 years visa. Then you can bring your family member, and then so you can apply for the residence visa as well, right? So any people working here in New Zealand or like any potential people from overseas, and then please contact us. We can help you on this matter. And also another job is for like personal care workers. This belongs for like a ENSCO group, like a 4233, like a personal care assistance is for ENSCO group is a 423313. This is like a personal care assistance. Like this is a little like some confused for any caregiver, a personal assistant, a caregiver assistant can be qualified or not. But this one is for is say for nursing support or personal care workers. The personal care workers, their job is for provide any assistance or support or direct care to patients in a variety of like a health, welfare, community centers. So that means any like the personal care assistant main job is for like provide any routine personal care services to people in the range of healthcare facilities or person's like a home. Like this one is like a similar to, for I can say the personal care means for any healthcare facilities, means for any like a rest home in New Zealand. I think maybe rest home in New Zealand you can provide any caregiver, then can be possible. And also like any person, any sick people, or like at home, if you provide for any the care to the that person, I think this is still like possible. But maybe I'm wrong. And then so at the moment, if any people work in a rest home as a caregiver to aged people, like a personal care, then so whether this is a possible or not. But my opinion, I think you they still qualified for any rest home, give any personal care to for aged people. I think this is still like a possible to apply, as long as your payment is for over $25, right? So like any like a hospital, like a nursing, or like that. So like some same group as for nursing support worker, their job is for like assist of like a nurse, and then nurse aide is the same like a group. So this is like a provide for limited patient care under the direction of the nursing staff. So that means for like any like aid rest home, there is a nurse, and then if you support of the nurse, like a nurse assistant, like a still can be possible, like and these kind of things. So I think that's if you are like now, I know for in New Zealand there are so many like caregivers for healthcare assistant in a rest home, or like some other areas working as for caregiver. And then like there are so many people like their job title was for community support worker. I think you have a very good chance to now try to apply for the residence visa, as long as your payment is for over $25, and then you pass for English exam 6.5. So any people working here in New Zealand now who work in a like a rest home as a caregiver, or any like some health industry as look after any person for like a assistant, like a caregiver, and then so as long as your payment is for over $25, and then the payment is over, now English is over 6.5, please contact us. We can help you who are working in New Zealand now. For any like some potential people in a nurse in overseas, and if you want to work as a caregiver in New Zealand, then so if you are experienced nurse, and then if you are English is over 6.5, and then we may try to match, or we may try to find a good employer for you, right? And as I can still say, we are not recruiting agent, we are not job broker, then we don't have any job for you. But once you like send your CV, and then we can look after for your case, and then make a good profile for you, then we can contact any potential employer on behalf of you, because we are lawyer. Then we can ask them, okay, whether these people like to hire for their the business. And if they yes, then we can arrange for like some match of between you and employer. Then you directly negotiate of yourself for like employment terms and condition. And if employer give any job offer, then we can start to help you for visa here. So any nurse got some overseas nurse, like you got two choices. If you got a IELTS 7.0, right, academic one, and then so got a more than 2 years experience like as a nurse in last 5 years, then we can still help you to for nurse registration here in New Zealand. Then we can help you to find a good job, and then we can help you to find for all kinds of visa support, including for your the residence visa program. This is one program we are still help you for this program. Or any nurse got a good experience, but you cannot pass for English exam, but only for you can pass for 6.5, then we can still try to match up the good employer as a caregiver. Then once you for payment is good, and then you can still apply for work visa and then residence visa in the future, right? So we are some explanation of the we mentioned for 3 jobs today. So if you are work for in that area, then please contact us, and then we can help you for. We can give you more detailed advice. All right. So you can see if you got any questions or like that, and maybe you can send an email to us like a visa apply at cantonchambers.co.nz. Like we use for like a visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz. Also, we use for visa apply at cantonchambers.co.nz, because sometimes the file is too big, and then because of the cannot come to our the server, so we use for like this cantonchambers.co.nz as well, right? Don't confuse, we can use both. So any people got interest for send a CV to us, and then for them, okay? And also before that, okay, please click the main Facebook page for like or follow, right? And then we will send you for always update of the visa services and then visa information there. Okay, thank you so much. And then okay, Gary and then Alex for Elvin, then Daniel, Tina for attending this Facebook Live. It's very nice to see you. And then bye bye. Okay, bye bye.